Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, thank you. I am an industrial organizational psychologist and the founder and CEO of Amate Ahora. Amate Ahora Voices for Health. What is Amate Ahora? Thank you. Yes. Amate Ahora means love yourself now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. Tonight, I'll be sharing with you my journey coming from tragedy to power and peace. If you will be so generous with me and raise your hand if you've lost a loved one due to chronic illness. Take a moment to look around. You are not alone. I am so sorry for your loss, and thank you for sharing that. How many of you know your family health history? I'm going to ask you to think about that while I share mine. My mother has diabetes. She has hypertension. We actually had a colon cancer scare about 3 years ago. She had surgery. There was a significant portion of her colon removed, and it was benign. Thank God, right? Every year, we visit the doctor and we make sure that she has her colonoscopy. My brother lives with obesity. My aunt and uncle lived 8 long years and died from Alzheimer's. Both my grandmother and grandfather died of a heart attack. My mother-in-law lives with encephalitis, which is an inflammation of the brain. Both my father-in-law and my sister-in-law live with diabetes. And that's what I know. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the things that we know. How many of us know how to lose weight? There's a lot of us, come on. There's a lot of us, right? It's eating healthy and exercising. Well, do you know that 97% of those that have lost weight have just as quickly gained it right back? The truth of the matter is, knowing is not enough. The more that we become proactive, take personal responsibility for our health, it will make a difference. So 30 years ago, my mother was diagnosed with diabetes. She took her medication and didn't follow up. It was 8 years ago that I get a call from her. She was already retired with my dad in Mexico. And she says to me, "Saludos, mija." And she started giving me her goodbyes. You know, ¿Qué pasa, mami? So she says, what's happening is that I was told that I have 6 months to live. Of course, immediately I got on a flight and I go to Mexico. She has healthcare in Texas, so we took care of her healthcare there. Once the doctor saw her, she was an immediate recipient to a pacemaker. The diabetes had compromised her heart and her kidney. The nephrologist, the kidney doctor, he said, "It's great that you have the second chance to live, You have a choice to make, though, because you're 2 steps to dialysis. You have a choice to make. Either you're going to continue your life the way you know it, or you're going to choose to transform your health. She looked at me, there she is over here. I looked at her, we looked at the doctor, and she gave the doctor a hug. That meant that she was choosing to transform her health. And we knew what that meant. What that meant is we are going to make healthy happen. Inspired by her will to live, I told her, I said, Mommy, I'm going to live in solidarity with you. I will take on transforming our health. Right? Because guess what? You're not alone. So we looked at the doctor, right? He's the one who's going to help us out. So I get asked, what does transforming your health look like, right? How do you make healthy happen? So we took nutrition classes at the hospital, did plenty of research. We started doing our veggie shakes every morning. And, you could ask her, she would pinch her nose. And I said, Mommy, you know what? It doesn't even smell. It doesn't smell. She's like, well, it looks yucky, But she took it. She drank it. And I did too. And we took supplements, and we checked her sugar, and we checked our blood pressure, and boy, we're stressing less. We're doing Zumba. We're doing some belly dancing, getting hydrated. We were in the zone, right? Like, wow, if diabetes had like an A+, we were like A++ as far as managing the diabetes, right? So I said, Mommy, you know what? Let's take it up a notch, and let's just kind of get rid of some more carbs. Mind you, we had already let go of breads, cereals, oatmeals, rice, tortillas. Are you kidding me? My mom was like, what? Tortillas? We were eating chicken and fish. She looked at me dead in the eye, and she said, I will not live like this. Moderation, I can do. Not deprivation, not elimination. Doesn't work. I gave her the biggest hug. I said, wow, Mommy, I could get a little extreme sometimes, right? She's like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. I thanked her because I got that as a caregiver, you want to do the best that you can for your loved ones. And I understood that I just needed to listen, right? You just need to listen. So, okay, great. Now let's recap. So now we know where our health is, right? Our family health history. We also know that knowing is not enough, right? You've got to be proactive. Take responsibility for your health. Transforming your health means making healthy happen. Now, once you start considering what's happening with our health and where she starts managing her health, she took it up. She took on her life. Here I moved back to Chicago. She was with my dad in Mexico.
And she would travel about, let's say, an hour and a half, once a month. And any of you that actually go to the doctor because you have a certain illness and you need to maintain contact every month, you know that the importance not only lies upon you meeting with the doctor and there's work to be done as far as tests, you need the results to figure out where you're at, your progress. So sometimes it would take 10 days at a time. In one of those occasions, as my mother's traveling back, excited, happy that she's doing so well, ready to share that information with my dad that, you know, they're doing a good job. It was one August 14th in Monterrey, Mexico. It was in canicula. It was hot, extreme weather. And unfortunately, my dad at the time decided to leave the windows closed and the air off and no fans. He had just come from traveling maybe 3 or 4 blocks and back with the groceries. And he fell prey to a heat stroke, which led to a massive heart attack. Tragic and preventable. As you could imagine, for my mother to walk in thinking that she can share this joy with my father and he's gone. Tragic and preventable. Any of you have lost someone? Yes, right? Once tragedy happens and grief takes hold of your person, you're in and out of darkness, you know, and that's part of the grieving. For our family, his passing was like an earthquake, that it just shook our foundation. And in those moments of prayer and clarity, I shared with my family, I said, let's be a voice for health. Let's share with the world our story. So if you will, to the person right to the right of you, just take a moment and think of that one person that you'd like to honor, and what was that chronic illness that they battled or that they still do. So I'll leave you with just a moment for you to share. Great. Thank you. Thank you. How did that feel? Did that feel a little weird? Like my mom said, a little yucky? I don't know. Or did that feel good? You know, that felt like you were honoring someone. I'm glad that you had that experience. Well, I had the opportunity, 4 months after my father passed, I got an excellent opportunity to speak to the board of the 18th Street Development Corporation. It's a nonprofit organization that they're out to support fellow entrepreneurs in the area of in the Pilsen area and industrial corridor. And they embraced Amate Ahora, Voices for Health. We had our first health expo here at the National Museum of Mexican Fine Arts, thanks to Carlos Tortoledo. We were so excited, we've been excited that we can connect doctors, health advocates, caregivers, patients, aficionados, those on the fence, those curious, to share our experiences and support each other and also provide services. My mother and I, we continued visiting other fairs, other expos, to figure out how we can collaborate with more people. In one of those occasions, we met with the American Heart Association. I spoke with one of the representatives from Women Heart. Women Heart is the national coalition for women with heart disease. I met a woman by the name of Alberta England. She shared with me, I'm a Women Heart champion. And she shared with me, to be a Women Heart champion, you need to have championed heart disease. Well, I shared with her our story, and she says, Leticia, do you know that 70% of Latina women have at least one risk factor for heart disease? We need someone like you to share your story. If selected, you will actually go out to Rochester, Minnesota at the prestigious Mayo Clinic and be amongst the top cardiologists. Technology, knowing what's going on with cardiovascular health. There was one condition: to see a cardiologist. In fact, I called Dr. Estela Hernandez. I was able to see a cardiologist that same day to make sure I got that done. I listened to the cardiologist as he was listening to my heart. And he says, Leticia, you've got not only a heart murmur, but you've got a valvular problem. How does that happen? What? After learning what's happening with my heart, he asked me, Leticia, how do you live? Do you feel, a little tired, a little weak? I said, well, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you what I've told the world. Thanks to my mom, 8 years ago, I've lived in solidarity with living a transformed life as far as my health. Not only do we do the veggie shakes, now we offer Zumba to the community, and we are making healthy happen. So I ask you, amate ahora, porque mañana puede ser muy tarde. Love yourself now. Tomorrow may be too late. I'm going to ask you to stand up, and be a voice for health in your community. Thank you.